These people are being crushed. And we're sitting here with the same kind of rhetoric. The same thing we heard. We heard go slow. We heard we have to take care of the problem after.
I don't think it's easy. After this is over, somebody go back to tough circumstances in the neighborhood. Somebody go back to homes, like a lot of homes that everybody knows. Black, white, doesn't matter, rich, poor, that are in trouble. And so it's not easy.
That is precisely what I will do. I will work as hard for those who didn't vote for me as I will for those who did vote for me.
Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., born November 20th, 1942 in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Joe was one of 5 children to Catherine Jean Biden and Joseph Robinette Biden Sr. After Biden's father lost his job in Scranton, he moved his family of 7 to Claymont, Delaware, and eventually to Wilmington, Delaware, where he became a successful used car salesman. In 1965, Biden graduated from the University of Delaware with a double major in political science, with a C average. Biden married Nelia Hunter in 1966 and had 3 children: Joseph R. Biden III, Robert Hunter Biden, and Naomi Christina Biden. In 1968, Biden worked at a law firm in Wilmington, which was owned by a Republican, and Biden thought of himself as a Republican because of a strong dislike to then-Governor Charles L. Terry, the incumbent Democrat. After starting out as a public defender, Biden became very active in the local Democratic Party and re-registered later as a Democrat. Biden was elected to county council in 1970, where he served for 2 years. In 1972, Biden took to the campaign trail against Republican incumbent J. Caleb Boggs for the U.S. Senate seat. It was said that Biden had no chance, and at many times through the campaign it looked that way as well. But with Biden's charm and attractive young family, he won with 50.5% of the vote.
His age against him.
I expect these fellows are going to eventually judge me on my merit, not on my age.
The celebrations of the victory were cut short after a very tragic accident only a few weeks after the election. On December 18, 1972, his wife, Nelia, and daughter, Naomi, were killed in an automobile accident while Christmas shopping. Sons Beau and Hunter survived. A heartbroken Biden considered resigning from office, but then Senator Majority Leader Mike Mansfield persuaded him not to. Biden was sworn in on January 5, 1973. In 1975, Biden met Jill Tracy Jacobs, an all-American and highly educated woman from Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, and married after 2 years on June 17, 1977. Joseph Biden became ranking minority member of the Senate Judiciary Committee in 1981. In 1984, he was a Democratic floor manager for the successful passage of the Comprehensive Crime Control Act. Over time, the law's tough-on-crime provisions became controversial, and in 2019, Biden called his role in passing the bill a big mistake. In 1993, Biden voted for a provision that deemed homosexuality incompatible with military life, thereby banning gays from serving in the armed forces. In 1996, he voted for the Defense of Marriage Act, which prohibited the federal government from recognizing same-sex marriages. Biden formally declared his candidacy for the 1988 Democratic presidential nomination on June 9, 1987.
Of Americans, about what their responsibilities are to the poor, about what their responsibilities are to other people, and about what our responsibility in the world is. And that requires changing attitudes. But Frank, I promise you, you'll see my 15-point plans and 19-point position papers, and you'll be able to make a judgment when Gary Hart and I stand there. Who knows more about foreign policy, Gary or me? And when you see that Dick Gebhardt and I stand there, you'll be able to make a judgment whether Dick Gebhardt or I know more about economic policy. But ultimately, Frank, this country needs a leader.
He was claimed to be the most likely to win candidate in the election. But after past mistakes and a plagiarism scheme, brought up by opponents, Biden withdrew from the race on September 23, 1987.
There will be other opportunities, there will be other battles, in other places, other times, and I'll be there. And I'll be there seeking to share with all Americans and those who will stand with me the promise proclaimed in the communion hymn you heard me recite all across this country. And he will lift you up on eagle's wings, and bear you on the breath of dawn, and make the sun to shine on you. This country is going to be lifted up.
Biden was re-elected to the Senate in 1978, 1984, 1990, 1996, 2002, and 2008, with about 60% of the vote. In January 2007, Biden took another try as the presidency. His main focus was the Iraq War. But Biden had a tough time raising funds, drawing people to rallies, and failed at gaining traction against high-profile candidates Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. After the first contest in Iowa on January 3, 2008, Biden placed fifth in the caucuses and withdrew from the race that evening. On August 22, 2008, Democratic nominee Barack Obama announced Joe Biden as his vice presidential running mate.
So let me introduce to you the next president, the next vice president of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
They took to the campaign trail against Republican nominee John McCain and running mate Sarah Palin. After a long-fought campaign, Obama and Biden won the 2008 election, making Obama 44th President of the United States and Biden 47th Vice President of the United States. They were sworn into office on January 20th, 2009.
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you, Mr. President.
After serving 8 years with President Obama, it was time to pass the torch to newly elected Donald Trump and Mike Pence, who had previously won against Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton and running mate Tim Kaine. Joseph Biden took one more try at the presidency in 2019.
That's why today I'm announcing my candidacy for President of the United States. Folks, America's an idea that's stronger than any army, bigger than any ocean, more powerful than any dictator or tyrant. It gives hope to the most desperate people on earth. It guarantees that everyone is treated with dignity and gives hate no safe harbor. It instills in every person in this country the belief that no matter where you start in life, there's nothing you can't achieve if you work at it. That's what we believe. And above all else, that's what's at stake in this election. We can't forget what happened in Charlottesville. Even more important, we have to remember who we are. This is America.
He was up against high-profile Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, and Michael Bloomberg. He trailed most of the campaign, but after Elizabeth Warren withdrew from the race, Biden was able to pick up most of her delegates. Biden defeated Bernie Sanders and became the Democratic nominee against incumbent President Donald Trump.
So it's with great honor and humility, I accept this nomination for President of the United States of America.
Biden announced his vice presidential running mate, Kamala Harris. The campaign was very uneasy from both parties, and when Election Day came, it still wasn't over. It is still undecided who won the 2020 race. Joe Biden has served a long and impactful career in politics, and the media has projected him to be the 46th President of the United States of America.
Folks, the people of this nation have spoken. They've delivered us a clear victory, a convincing victory, a victory for we the people. We've won with the most votes ever cast on a presidential ticket in the history of the nation. 74 million. What I must admit has surprised me. Tonight, we're seeing all over this nation, all cities and all parts of the country, indeed across the world, an outpouring of joy, of hope, renewed faith in tomorrow, bring a better day. And I'm humbled by the trust and confidence you've placed in me. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States. And work with all my heart, with the confidence of the whole people, to win the confidence of all of you. And for that is what America, I believe, is about. It's about people. And that's what our administration will be all about.